Okay guys, 1.3 is finally here, and I'm just going to go over real quick the most important things. I've read through the patch notes and I've come back to the news page for 1.3 because it's the most visually appealing, and we're just going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you what's in it, things that you need to know, changes, whatnot. I'm not going to go through the whole patch notes or anything. It's just 90% technical jargon. We don't need that. You want to know the hardcore, real deal shit. So let's get into it. I'm not going to waste your time. Let's try and do this in 5 minutes or less. So the addition of the LAV 25 and the BRDM. The LAV sports a 25mm autocannon, and the BRDM 2 hosts the same gun as the BTR 70, but is a lot more nimble, a lot more fast. They're both reconnaissance vehicles. Please don't think they're tanks. These things are going to get obliterated if you go within like 500 meters of infantry. Keep your distance with these things, because trust me, you'll know if you're too close. Offensive helicopters. The Huey and the Mi-8 finally have got rocket pods. They both have kilometer optics. They have rocket pods that can shoot high explosive or high explosive dual purpose, catered to whatever needs you want. These things are incredibly deadly and you need to keep your eye out. Mortars. Mortars are now in, both for the Soviet and the US team. They both sport high explosive, illumination, smoke. The US team does have training rounds, but they're not really useful. There is now building and tree destruction. And doesn't it look awesome? Look at that, guys. Look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? Being inside of a building when it collapses will kill you. There's also been the addition of a single player scenario called Elimination. And we're going to go into details because you should experience it for yourself. But it is a single player scenario with multiple ways of completing. Now to some really important things. Expanded vehicles, Logi trucks, uncovered and covered, both carry up to 1,500 supplies in a single load. Huge change. The Blanca now comes in two new variants, a transport variant and cargo variants. The two different types of cargo variants can either hold 2 people and 500 supply, or, well, 2 people and 800 supply. The Saka minivan now has a cargo variant and it can carry a lot more supplies. The Huey and the Mi-8 now have civilian colors. Overhauled game systems. These are important. You guys need to know these. Rank requirements. No more tac barbieing at the start of a game. You guys actually have to put in some work now to get the things that you want. I know, it's tragic, but it's needed. Sorry, controversial. You're no longer able to spawn on a contested base. You actually need a counterattack from another base, or from a command radio, or from a radio backpack. The capture timers previously were relying on the amount of compositions that you had on a main base, or at a contested base, sorry. Now it's actually how many bases are connected to the contested base. Let's say Lemuel is being contested by the enemy, but you own Lamenton, Villeneuve, and Cavalry Hill. They all have radios connected to Lemuel. It's going to be a substantial longer cap for the enemy team, so that gives you enough time to form a counterattack, push the enemy away. Another change that they haven't listed here is now field hospitals need to be built to get all medical supplies. You do need to build field hospitals to get access to saline, morphine, and the med kits. Be sure to be building more field hospitals on captured bases, guys, because that's the only way you're going to get the full medical range. You can still get basic meds from the command tent, like a bandage and a tourniquet, but that's it. There's also been a ton of performance fixes, a ton of bug fixes, etc., but we're not going to go into that. There is a changelog, which I will link down in the description if you guys do want to read it. Be sure to check out the trailer. I'm going to leave a card up above. Nonetheless, that's been the patch notes pretty much. I hope to see you guys out there.